Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus Park. If this is your first time checking out our podcasts, just a heads up, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts will be there. Just type in Above the Bridge podcast. You can find us on YouTube, and our website is atbpod.com. Okay, this week my guest is somebody I met at the gym, and I always get inspired by different people, and I always try to talk to as much people as I can. But this individual, I got to know her a little bit, and she told me her backstory, and it immediately inspired me, and I knew I had to get her on the show because I feel like her story can help a lot of people. She's a influencer. She's a I don't even know what to call you, like a fitness guru. I don't know.
I don't
Something
know
cool.
either. I don't put a
Yeah.
label on it.
Yeah. But Macy Ono, thank you for coming on my show. I'm so happy to have you on.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, this will be fun. Like I said, I met you at you were working at 24 Hour Fit. You were working at 24 Hour Fitness in Kaneohe when I first met you, and you was always like the nice, bubbly, pleasant person that you first encounter when you walk into the gym, and you always seem super cool. And I had no idea like who you were. That's how I met you, and it's been cool to get to know
Hmm.
your journey and to see you at working out. You're a beast. Like you work out like
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure you see it, right? There's a lot of girls that come there and they take like three pictures in their cute little Lululemon stuff, and then they dig out, and it's like you didn't even work out. Like you get after it. Let's see, like where do we start?
and I
What
still
would
take the pictures too. So,
Yeah, you do, and you make it cool. Is I guess
right?
yeah. I think that the the difference is that you get after it, but um I don't even know where to start. I always thought that you were just a in shape person from for always, and you had a story that you shared on Instagram that totally caught me by surprise. Like, and it was a video of you when you were heavier, to the point where when you I watched the video, I didn't even know that was you at first. And I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah. Everyone says that.
amazing."
They're like, yeah, people they look at pictures and they're like, that's not you. Or like when I used to first work out there when I was bigger, like I was 100 pounds heavier, right? Like what, 2 years ago. And then there's some people who was like I seen them, I recognize them, right? Because you see the same people every day. And then it's
Yeah.
so funny because there's been a couple people that is like, that was you, like you were that girl. Like we thought she stopped like coming, and I'm like, no, that was me. And it's like so funny because like in my brain, like I don't see too much of a difference. I don't, it's just like a in your mind thing, like the dysmorphia, whatever you want to call it. So it's funny when people are like, I don't recognize you, or like I didn't realize that was you.
Well, I think it's a amazing transformation, and I know like people shouldn't judge people how they look or they should judge them by who they are, and you should always feel
Hmm.
comfortable in your own skin, and but
Yeah.
you decided at one point of your in your life, like, okay, I'm gonna change things up. I want something different. And I mean, 100 pounds, like, just think about it. Like, if you were to just carry 100-pound bag of rice, like, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like squatting or like if I'm doing RDLs, right? And it's like 100 pounds or like close to that. I just like a mess. Sometimes I just like catch myself off guard. I'm like, oh, I used to like walk around with this and this is heavy. And in my brain, like it was so normal. That's what my body was used to like carrying. And I carry it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's insane to me. Like I was walking around with all that extra weight, you know?
Well, let's back it up.
But
I want to know like what made you decide like, okay, I'm gonna change some stuff up and I'm gonna try and go on this um body transformation, health, fitness journey.
well, ever since I was like really little, like I'd say around like third, fourth grade, that's when I kind of started gaining weight. And like, I was always like the bigger girl. I was always like the chubbier, like, and so like you're young, I was elementary, middle school, I was always bigger, but then it's like I was just like, maybe it's just baby fat, whatever. Got into high school, the weight kept coming on, and then around like my sophomore year, I had jumped from I was like 185, like sophomore year, like end of freshman year, and I dropped all the way to like 110 pounds. And that first weight drop I ever did, that was not healthy at all. Like that was like I did that not in a good way. Like I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't,
Oh,
it wasn't good. And then because I was so restrictive, and that's why I like advocate a lot for like people who struggle with eating or anything like that, like mentally, I had dropped all that weight. And then because I was so restrictive with how I ate, I spiked to my heaviest. So in those
oh,
videos that you saw, like the videos I post where I'm big, that was at my heaviest because I like had dropped so small restrictively that I had just fell into like binge eating and I overdid it. And I got to my heaviest at 250, was in a super dark place. And then I just felt so uncomfortable, like in my body. Just I felt so like, like I still wore what I wanted to wear, but I at the same time I felt like I had so many limitations on myself,
hmm.
like with what I wanted to do, like and just whatever. And so I just knew that like, fuck, I need to lose the weight, but I don't want to lose it in an unhealthy way like I did before. Like I cannot do it this time out of a place of hatred. And
Hmm.
that's, I think the first time I had lost the weight, it was because I like hated myself. I was like, I don't like the way I look. Like I always grew up fat. Like, and so I fell into like really bad habits, like they weren't healthy, and I forced myself into losing weight out of hatred to myself. And this time around, like when you saw me working at the gym and I was going through my weight loss journey, like I definitely like that's why I always preach so hard about like I don't restrict myself anymore. Like I still eat what I want. I still go to the night markets, like, and
Yeah.
but it's all about balance. Like I still am in the gym, busting my ass 5 days a week, but it's like it's still a balance where I'm not like I know how to fuel myself now. I know how to like, I'm doing it out of love where it's like I love myself, so I'm gonna work out. I love myself, so I feed myself good foods, like nutrient dense foods, you know? And so that's why this time around, like to me, I'm proud to say like I lost 100 pounds, but to me that's not the real flex. For me, my flex is that I'm keeping it off. Because I truly believe that like anybody who wants it bad enough, anybody can lose the weight, right? If you want it bad enough, it's really you're just in a calorie deficit,
Hmm.
that's it. But I think for me, it's really the biggest flex is when you can keep it off because you're doing things that are sustainable. It's not just a quick fad diet. It's not just a quick fix because good things take time. And, it's not just small, it's like a whole lifestyle change. And I had to change everything about my life, my routines, like everything that brought me comfort before, I had to throw out the window. And so that's like a little insight to everything.
That's crazy. Well, how did you know or get the knowledge to, okay, I gotta work out this way? How did you even know how to work out? But also, how did you know how to create a
Yeah.
diet?
So basically, when I first started, um, I didn't track anything. Like I kind of was just eating more healthier, right? Like, and I think everybody falls into this when they first want to lose weight. They're like, okay, I'm gonna cut out carbs, right? So I kind of was doing that. Like I wasn't eating as much rice, whatever. But I'm so grateful for like social media. Like there is a lot of dark sides to social media, but social media can be so powerful powerful. Like when you are on the right pages and you are like following the right influencers, like I truly would not have made it without all of these like content creators who educate other people like with what they've learned, like they've done trial and error, right? And truthfully, like it's all like from TikTok and from Instagram and just my own like deep diving and research that I found like tips, tricks, different workouts. I started
Mm.
working at the gym, and so with that, like I had resources like my coworkers, they're all like trainers. And
Yeah,
so basically if I ever had a question, like there my coworkers were there, or just even like people like you, like in the gym, I that always made me feel comfortable there. Like I always ask for help and just relying on my gym community, relying on social media and you know, yeah.
that's super cool. That's good because I agree. The social media now can work both ways. It could be a dark place, but it's very educational if you seek it out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you map out like your
100%.
goals? Oh, okay. So map out your goals and your diet and all that. Like you literally write it down and stuff, or like you just kind of came up with the game plan and was like, okay, today I'm gonna do this, today I'm gonna do this.
Oh, well, so like in the beginning, I I always tell people like when they come to me for advice to lose weight, it's funny because I don't tell them to do what I did, which is kind of ironic because it's like for me when I first started, like my personality, I'm very like if I decide I'm gonna do something, like I'm gun ho, like all the way, 100%, like sprinting in that direction, you know? But I do tell people that like for me when I first started, all I told myself was, okay, you're gonna go to the gym at least 5 times a week. You're gonna lift weights, right? And I basically I always say like when you want something bad enough, you'll make it happen. You know, if it's like on the very top of your priority list, you make it happen. So I did all my own research. I spent hours like looking up different exercises, form, whatever, practicing it on my own. I built a workout plan, like a simple like gym bro split, right? Push, pull legs. And
Yeah.
that was a 6 times a week workout plan. And I told myself, I made a promise to myself. I just said, okay, you're gonna do it. Like I know there's gonna be days you don't want to do it, you're gonna do it. There's gonna be days where you're gonna slip up on your diet, but you're not gonna just give up. Like one day messing up or missing one day at the gym, a lot of people I think mess up or like don't aren't successful in their weight loss is because they give up too easily. Like
Yeah.
you can't expect it to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. You know, like we're not perfect. There's so many days where I like overeat or I overdo it or I skip a workout, but if I just let that one day of bad like make me stop, then yeah, you won't continue the weight loss, but it's all about like consistency. It's about showing up for yourself, even if it's a 10-minute workout. Like just the small things add up, and you're not going to be perfect. No one is. Your diet's not going to be perfect. Your workouts aren't going to be perfect. And that's the thing is you just every day you have to just constantly pick yourself up and just know like the person that I want to be is going to be built because of like who I am, who I'm being today. And
Yeah.
the choices that I make today, it's affecting me in the future. And that's just kind of what I constantly replayed in my brain is like, even when I was still like 100 pounds heavier, 50 pounds heavier, I kept telling myself, like, today's sacrifice is for you 5 months from now, is for you a year from now, that you won't see until that time comes, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I
That
just, I
that's
just did
super
it.
awesome. That's awesome. You're right. Like a lot of people get discouraged, or I notice people stop
Mhm.
when they don't see immediate results. So I worked out for 2 weeks and nothing happened. I was
Yeah.
like, "Bruh, like you got to give it more time." And I do know results is a positive motivator. So once you start seeing results, then you're motivated
Hmm.
to stick with it because like, oh shit, it's working. I'm gonna stick with it. How long did it take for
Yeah.
you to start seeing the results of the work that you've been putting in? Want to shout out our sponsor, Defend Hawaii. If you go to their store in Winter Mall, no one, you can check out their new drops for summer. You can also go on their website, defendhawaii.com. If you use promo code ATBpod upon checkout, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. Go see what they have. They got some new stuff for summer. I always rock in Defend Hawaii wherever I go. So go take a look. Defendhawaii.com, promo code ATBpod.
For me, so like when you're bigger and you have that much weight to lose, typically the first like 10, 20, 30, whatever pounds come off fairly fast and easier. It's when you
Okay.
get to those last like 10, 20 pounds that you got to lose that fucker don't want to budge, you know? And so it's like the very so it's the very beginning I was losing the within the first like 2 weeks of me working out and changing like my diet, the scale was going down,
Oh, wow.
and so that also was a huge motivator. Like, I think for me in the beginning, I wasn't tracking any calories or anything. I know you had mentioned the diet because plenty of people
Yeah.
ask me to like share what I eat or like my diet plan. The thing is like I mainly my rule is like I try to eat whole foods. So like if you can grow it or you can kill it like an animal, right? I try not to eat too many processed foods, but of course, like I'm human. Like I love a good sweet treat. I
Oh,
love like
yeah.
chips. I'm still gonna treat myself to that. But like 80, like I think you've heard 80/20 rule, right? So like 80% of the time the 20% of the time you can treat yourself. And
Okay.
so I think that's why this time around, like my weight loss was successful and it sticks. Because before in the past, I've always been very like black and white the way I think. And it was only until actually a year ago, and this was after I already lost the weight, that I changed my mindset. Because to be honest, like I was in a very dark place at my heaviest, but ironically, I got to an even lower place after I lost the weight.
Oh, really?
And that's like hard to Yeah, and it's so weird and it's funny because I talk to a lot of like other influencer friends I have who also are like weight loss influencers on TikTok or social media, that it's so cool because I used to look up to some of these people and now like I'm friends with them through social media. But they agree, it's like people talk about like, oh, when you lose the weight, like you're gonna feel happy, you're gonna be, but it's kind of ironic because if you ask a lot of people who have lost the weight, it's almost like you become more consumed with it and you end up becoming in a darker place. Like for me, I started tracking calories, right?
Yeah.
And at first everything was cool because I'm like, I truly do believe like tracking calories is such a great tool. I think everyone should, at least if you're like a fitness person, like I think everyone should at least do it once in their life so you get an idea of what your body needs, like what a good plate looks like having like your carbs, fats, and like protein, like what it looks like to eat, like you know what I mean, for your
Yeah.
body. But I think for some people like me who struggle with like disordered eating, I think it can be a little detrimental more than helpful. So for me, like in the beginning, when I was tracking my calories, like I became so obsessed with it where I didn't go out to eat with friends or family for almost a full year. Like
Oh, wow.
I didn't, yeah. And I knew that like that's not living your life. That's not fitness complementing your life. That's fitness like was just taking over my life, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why now it's like for me now I stopped tracking and I still go to therapy for like all of it, like the eating and all of that. Cause I think when you do lose a bunch of weight, there's so much mental, like everyone always talks about how like the physical change of like weight loss, but it is so mental and not enough people talk about that, like how mental of a thing it is when it comes with like you're scared to gain the weight back, so now you have fear around food and then you're stuck with like for me like I have loose skin, and so that's another total like hurdle too, that like you feel like you're stuck in a shell of your old body, and that's just a whole mental thing on its own. But it's just there's so many things that people don't really, yeah, that people don't think about when it comes to when you lose like a huge amount of weight. Like if it's 20, 30 pounds, you're not gonna have like the loose skin and all of that, but you probably will have some like eating fears and you know what I mean? Like it will alter your brain a little. And
Yeah, that,
so I think that's mainly what I try to talk about too on my social media now.
wow, I had no idea or I would never have even thought about that because I fluctuate in weight. I've competed in martial arts, so I always had to cut weight and for
Hmm.
me it was a mental thing, but it was just a test of my mental strength. So I always like how you said is
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this and I don't care, it's gonna happen. But I never thought about
Yeah.
how it could affect you mentally when it's off and you're maybe scared or concerned that it's gonna come back, where it's such a mind thing on the daily, like, oh, I if I eat this, then I'm gonna like I might bounce back, or that's kind of a crazy situation. Like I'm doing this carnivore diet now, and I kind of find myself like, oh shoot, if I eat a apple or rice or something, it's like I'm gonna get kicked out of ketosis,
Hmm.
and then it's like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Like if I'm gonna live like that, then I might as well not. Isn't
Yeah.
that's not me. It backfired. I ate a whole shit
Yeah.
ton of ice cream and cramped my legs. Yeah, it was just bad. That I had two big things where I just went
Been
ham.
there.
Yeah, I ate so much ice cream that I caught cramps and I couldn't get it out, and my leg got black and blue. And then the second time I was in Vegas, and I love White Castles, like love them. So I bought a case and I just
Okay.
mopped like 15 out, and my body hasn't had carbs for a while, and oh, I woke up at midnight
Oh
and like
yeah, yeah.
just threw everything up. But yeah, other than that, like I'll treat myself now and then, and like you said, mentally I don't kind of let it affect me because I could see how it would. Like you said, I never heard anybody talk about the mental aspect of it after you've lost it, because it's a mental challenge just to lose it. I never thought about, oh, okay, now I'm
Mhm.
mentally in a weird place because I gotta make sure I don't gain it back. That's very cool to talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like you said, you're not the only
That
one.
makes sense. So that's why I've been seeing you a lot in the gym, huh? All the White Castles. Nah.
Yeah, that's the shit. Yeah, I love that stuff. But yeah, I've noticed something about you, your personality, and since I met you just at the front of the desk, like you're always a personable person, very approachable, um very open and very fun to be around. But since you kind of lost the weight, do you find that you got getting a lot more attention than you did when you were heavier?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. That is like a topic that I could talk about. I could vol out about that for like days, days for real. But it's funny because for me personally, like whether when I was bigger, like 100 pounds heavier, or me now, um, my like like my bubbly, like I'm very outgoing, I'm very loud. Like people will tell you, oh, you'll hear me at the gym before you see me. Like that's always been my personality, whether I was big or small. And it's funny, I definitely do like get a lot more attention now. Um, than when I was big. And it it's weird because I'm used to it now. Like when I had first lost the weight, because remember I told you like in high school I had lost a bunch of weight too. So I was
Yeah.
smaller in like sophomore year, junior year of high school. And in that time too, I also got like attention. Um, but this time around, I just felt I've like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain this. Like I've talked to other friends, like my other like weight loss influencer friends, and we've talked about this. And it's like as a woman, and then you lose all the weight, and then you get not only male attention, but you get more attention from just people in general. Like it could just be something as simple as you're in public and people like open the doors for you now more, or people acknowledge
Oh,
you, people smile at you now. And it's
really?
things that you wouldn't think of, like, yes, and for me, like because I always kind of grew up, chubbier on the big side, like I didn't think anything of it. And so when I did lose the weight this time around, right? And I started posting on social media, I have a more of like a presence on social media. Um, in the beginning, like maybe about a year and a half ago, I did grow like kind of a resentment towards people. Like
Oh, I can
not
see that.
Not like it didn't change my personality or like my heart or anything like that, but it definitely made me view everyone differently because not only just guys hitting on me, but just like I said, simple things where it's like, people hold the doors open now for you, or people acknowledge you. Like I'll just be walking and people smile at me. And before, man, I was big, that probably wouldn't have happened where people are just smiling at me, right? Or like people compliment me randomly. And it's like it's just small things, and then it makes you like when you do lose the weight, it makes you kind of realize like how superficial people can be, and like how the world, like everyone is so like it only matters what's on the outside. And I think that's why a huge part of me and the way that I act and hold myself is, I think, because I've been through that and I know that people just treat you how you look. That's why I try my hardest like to care for everyone. Like I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're blue or green, or if you're big or you're small or whatever. Like I truly believe that unless like if you've been in a situation or a spot where you have been on both sides of the spectrum, right? Of getting a lot of attention and then not getting it at all. It really gives you a different understanding, and it I don't it, in a way I wish everyone could experience it. You know what I mean? Just
I
like because
definitely.
I think the world would just be a nicer place
It's so,
because
yeah, that's you hit it on the head. I honestly, I never would have thought of it that intricately, where you said like people will open the doors for you or smile at you, and you probably it wouldn't have happened before. That's that's crazy to think, and kind of disappointing. I've kind of had a similar
hmm
situation, not being like heavy coming smaller, but I was small, and I would be like when I went out, I'd be like the fly on the wall. Nobody would notice me, or nobody would come talk to me or whatever. And fortunately, I was around a lot of popular people that had clout, and they were nightclub
hmm
promoters. And then I started meeting a lot of people, and then I became a nightclub promoter, opened my own nightclub promotion company, which was super successful. But then I started meeting a lot of people, and then all these girls that would never give me the time of day or wouldn't even look my way are wanting to hang out with me, wanting to cruise, or just
hmm
call me up, or just wanting to be around me. And I always was like these are the same girls that didn't even know I was in the around before. And I I would always make sure when I was working at our events, I would find the most kind of standoffish guys, like maybe like not, you can tell they're not comfortable in a nightclub, or not, they're there but they don't know what to do or whatever. And I'll just
hmm
grab them and be like, hey, come with me, let me get you a drink. I would bring them to the VIP, and like bring them, introduce them to girls,
Yeah.
or just make them have the funnest night. And I'll be like, anytime you come out, just hit me up and I got you. And it was like those people that became close to me because they felt that I brought some fun into their life, and I treated them like how they would want to be treated, because when I was that person, nobody did that to me. So it's like, I'm gonna let you guys
hmm
have the time of your life, and just let you have some fun, because I know how it feels to be that nerd dork on the side, where like nobody's like trying to talk to, and like it's like, oh, I wish somebody would come talk to me or whatever. And I I would
Yeah.
always go out of my way to do that. And it's like you said, like you don't care if they're whatever. I'm gonna be friends with everybody. Has that ever backfired at on you though,
Yeah.
because of how you look the way you do now, people might take that niceness as like in a different way, and then has it backfired? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Want to shout out our sponsor, Medicinal Mushrooms Hawaii. They're a locally based medicinal mushroom store. They have everything you need. Right now they have 5 different tinctures of extracted mushrooms. They have lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi. And their newest one, which I'm really excited about, I just started taking this today, is your cordyceps mushroom. Each one of these has medicinal properties, and I take it religiously. I take the first 3 in the morning with my coffee. I take red reishi at night to help me sleep. And this cordyceps, I started taking as a pre workout. This is known to give you increased energy, stamina, and oxygen intake. And I tried this today before my workout, and it worked amazing. I'm so excited to be using these cordyceps. I'm happy they got them. So go take a look at medmushroomhigh.com. If you use promo code ATBpod upon checkout, you'll get 45% off your first tincture of extracted mushrooms. And make sure when you use ATB pod, it's all capitals. ATB pod, all capitals, medmushroomhigh.com. Go give them a look. Aloha.
Yeah, so it's so funny because that's like one of the big things I gotta work on now is because I'm like not used to like that attention or like for me growing up, right? Like same thing, like every guy who was in my life was strictly like homie, like you're a bro, you know? Like
Yeah,
you're my
yeah.
brother. I don't look at you that way. And if I do, like I know you're not looking at me that way, so I'm not gonna, do anything about it. Um, and so it's weird now because throughout my journey, yes, I physically look a lot different, but my personality never changed. And so that's why it's a little hard now because I am so bubbly. I am so friendly. And especially like you said, like you're so thoughtful, you're so like, you'll go up to anybody who seems like they're awkward at the club or whatever because you know what it's like to be that person. So for me, like that's why I'm so like outgoing and I talk to everybody and I make sure everyone's okay around me. And it does backfire sometimes because looking the way I look now and having that personality, oh, everybody like I think thinks I flirt with them,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm just like, and all of my friends like, if that happens, they're just like, no, like trust me, this is just her. Like she ain't flirting with you. Like she's
You
just
ain't got it.
she's right. Like she really just this bubbly and loud. Um, but. It's I wouldn't say it backfired on me. I mean it does when people get the wrong idea, right?
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's still so like kind of like even though I've looked this way for like 2 years now, it's still new, right? Since I spent the past 20 years looking the way I did or whatever, and then it's only these 2 years I'm like this. So it is, even though it's been 2 years, it's still very new for me. And so I don't know. I'm still navigating that one. Like when people, like honestly, I'm like, huh, I don't know. It backfires on me, but I'm so like the kind, I'm so addicted to eat. Like when guys like tell me they like me or something, it's funny because I think growing up, because I never got that like kind of attention, when someone flirts back with me, and this is kind of my red flag, like I'm gonna just out myself. Um, like when someone flirts with me, I don't catch on. Like I don't, and this is like so silly, but I really don't. Like you could be full on like flirting with me at the bar or wherever, at the gym, and I think because I've never had guys do that to me growing up, like I always thought they're just being nice or they're being friends.
Hmm.
So there's been a lot of times where it's backfired on me, where guys are like flirting with me, and I think in their brain they're like very obviously flirting. And to me, I'm just like, oh, he's just being nice. Like, okay, bye, nice meeting you, have a good day,
They're
and
like,
then I just
wait,
go
wait.
frolic away. No, every time, every time.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, I'm still navigating that one.
Well, I think it's yeah, I guess you gotta I like the fact that how you look now didn't change your personality because I mean I've been around like the super hot girls and I know how most of them act. I know, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, but a lot of
Hmm.
them are very superficial or very entitled, and especially in the industry that I've been in is very fake and all about themselves. So that I think that's the difference with you is that you're the same person you always been, and I think that's what makes you even more attractive because of who you are. And I don't know, like maybe things might be different in the future if people try to take advantage of your niceness, but I don't know.
They better not.
Yeah. But I noticed one of your posts which I thought was super cool, and I do know that you like to take pictures, you like to not show off but show that you're comfortable with who you are. And
Hmm.
fuck, I seen that one video is like, oh, I worked hard for the body that I'm in, and it's not a
Oh, the
thirst
one I
trap.
recently.
Yeah,
Though,
he
yeah.
said I'm not a thirst trap, and I was looking at that, I'm like, that's for you. Like you're you're doing that for you, and it can inspire other people, but it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm some Instagram model kind of showing off. Like it's more like I've achieved this and now I want to be able to show it. I don't know. For some reason, it resonated with me in a way where I was like, that's fucking cool. I definitely respect that a lot more than those girls, those Instagram models that just make any kind and think it's like, and they'll put some stupid caption underneath it, and it doesn't even make sense. And I'm like, wow, that kind of made me think like the mindset that you're in doing your social media is kind of more solid than most of the girls that I come in contact with. I thought it was really cool.
Thanks, Dad. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I actually really like that one I just posted too, honestly, because I think a lot of people, like after I lost the weight, they're like, oh, you're so confident now, or oh, like you show off now. And as nice as I am, I always like to say I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet. Like, like, like I am nice, but I'm gonna keep it real, you know? And I always tell people like I know, like, if you didn't know that I used to be bigger, you didn't know my story, like, of course it's gonna look like, okay, she's just showing off or whatever. But I think because, like, I know where I came from, right? And never feeling maybe as confident to post what I wanted to or whatever it is. Now that I worked my ass off, right? I did ABC, whatever to get there. Like, of course I'm gonna show it off and not in like a, oh, I'm better than you, Wade. No, but for me, just like I'm proud of myself,
Yeah.
and I think it's like you said, it's a little different for me because I didn't grow up looking this way. I didn't um I wasn't just, you know what I mean, like always had a smaller body. I didn't always have, the looks that I have now. So that's why like when I do post, it's like I feel like I'm making little me proud in a way,
Yep.
or like me, I'm making like me 3 years ago at my heaviest so proud. And truthfully, I owe all of it and like everything that's coming my way, all of the good, like all whatever, the way I look now, I owe that all to not me now, but I owe that to me 3 years ago. The big
Yep.
girl who didn't get attention, the girl who didn't like people didn't care about, right? That's who I fucking owe all the kudos to, not this version now. But I think that's why I do post a lot of those kind of pictures and I do like flaunt a little more than I probably should because
Yep.
I'm like, I fucking worked my ass off for this. And
Yeah.
if you want to think like, if guys want to think or girls want to think, oh, like she's just like every other Instagram model, or she just, like they can think what they want, shit. But I know, and the real ones who were in my life, the people who are in my gym community who saw me busting my ass, like they know otherwise. And that's all I need, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. One thing I thought was super funny, and like this is just my own thing, is I'll see you and Taylor post something on Instagram from the gym, and it's
Yeah.
some fierce ass pose or like cool looking, like model kind shit. But I'll be in the gym watching you guys film each other, and you guys are goofy, silly, fucking laughing. Like, and it looks fun, looks like you guys are having fun, but the
Yeah.
end product, if I didn't see the during, I would be like, oh, these girls are just fucking doing the Instagram thing. But it's like
Yeah.
you guys are so silly having fun with it and laughing, and it's
Hmm.
um it's kind of refreshing to see, and I hope like most girls are like that are doing it in the gym, because like some of the stuff is like like I said, I seen girls come in their Lululemon, like lift up a 5 pound dumbbell, take a picture and out, and I'm just like, that was for the gram, like that's just fucking lame. You know what I mean? But you and Taylor, like
Yes, I love her.
you guys
I
work,
love her.
you know,
Yeah.
and you guys do work. You guys work out hard, and that's cool to see. And um, I feel like your guys' social media could be depicted in a different way if like people don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, say I never met you,
100%.
I seen your social media, I'd have been like, oh, she's an Instagram model. You know what I mean? Like, but
Mhm.
knowing your backstory, like that changes everything. And the things that you're posting, once you actually read it and understand, then it's like, oh, there's a lot more depth to it than just I'm taking a picture at the club or on the beach or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Or it, I feel like the way you're handling social media is a lot more in depth, and it has a lot more character than most.
I appreciate that. That's what I'm trying to, that's really what I'm trying to push out. Like, for me, actually, a lot of people don't know. I actually started posting like weight loss things a long time before my Instagram. I would post on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And for I posted on TikTok for a long time, and then I never like I originally I had like a fitness Instagram account, like a separate for my main, right? Because
Okay.
I'm like, okay, my main account's gonna be for posting all the cute pictures, and then my fitness account's just for the fitness and the weight loss, whatever. And then honestly, it was a lot of good people in my life, especially like Taylor, my best friend, um, who really gave me like that push, like, you should not be ashamed of where you came from because that's who made you who you are now. And I had a lot of great people in my life to tell me that, like, and true, like at the end of the day, like if I do post on my main feed, like that first time I ever posted that I used to be bigger, like on my main page, right? It was so stressful. It was so nerve-wracking. I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want people to know I used to be big, but then I think about it and I'm over here like promoting self-love and love yourself and all that, all that shit. And I'm like, I can't truly be a promoter for self-love if I'm still over here hating who I was 3 years ago. Because truthfully, like when you love yourself, like truly love yourself, you need to love yourself in all of your different stages, whether
Yeah.
it was a good stage for you or a fucked up stage for you, like every stage has its like importance, and I think it's so important to love every version of it. And so that's why now like I got rid of that fitness page on Instagram and I just started moving everything into the main. Like I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna post what I want. I'm gonna say what I want. Like, I'm gonna post the cute, sexy pictures that I want. I'm gonna post the cute, like, weight loss videos where there's pictures of me where I am 100 pounds bigger. Like, I'll post, like, I wanna do more talking, things like
Yeah.
this. Like, like, and I'm so grateful that I had great people in my life to kind of remind me, like, remember, like, that at the end of the day, too, like, if someone judges you for it or someone judges you for being bigger, why would you want them in your life anyway, right? And I believe that like the people who are meant to be in your life will be in your life, and the people who aren't meant to be won't be. And you should never have to ask someone to be in your life. Like, you know what I mean? It'll just
Yep.
happen when you just
Yep.
be yourself. Like the right ones come when you're yourself, and the right ones leave when you're yourself.
Yeah. That definitely resonates with me. I know a lot of who I am is because of the dumb shit I used to do. Or
Hmm.
I think Jelly Roll has a song something about the sins of my past made me who I am. So I I have like a love-hate relationship with that person. It's like I hated the things I did, but honestly, because I did those things, it made me who I am now, and I love the person that I am now. But I can't hate that guy because if it wasn't for that guy, I wouldn't be this guy. You know what I mean? Like kind of
Exactly.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have a great support system, and I think that matters, especially when you're trying to change your life for the better. It's gonna have trials and tribulations. So when you have that person to lean on or people to lean on, that's always awesome. And I'm sure you're the same for your friends or your family. Like you're that person that people can lean on as well.
Yeah, I try to be because I've like you said, like I've been very blessed to have that. Like I have a great family and a super supportive family. I have the best friends. Um, and so I feel like there, like maybe about a year ago, like, I told you, like, with the weight loss, there's so much mental, like, I fell into depression at my smallest and fell into all of these things. And I spent like every night crying and like my loose skin, right? And to me, that was such a big thing. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm stuck. I did all this work and I'm stuck in a shell of my old body. Like, it's really hard to accept. Um, and I'm just so grateful. Like I had the best like community around me, family, friends, gym community, because I would not have gotten out of that hard place without them. And that's why I'm like, I want to give back too, because I have been so blessed to have that in my life that, you know,
Yeah.
that I try to be like that for everyone, even strangers. Like I try to care deeply for just everyone,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that's super cool. I did notice one of your posts, which I read and I kind of felt the same, was the you put it was propaganda bullshit with when it comes to diet. Like, oh, if you do this certain way, this is what happens. And it was a post where you said it was like propaganda that people try to sell you on, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Um, so that was going back to like the very start of my weight loss journey. Remember I told you like the first thing people do when they start their weight loss is like, oh, I'm gonna cut carbs or whatever it is. That I all of the things that I had listed, like cutting carbs or restricting yourself or um feeling guilty for missing a workout. Like I did all of that, right? Like in the beginning, like I cut out all my carbs. And yeah, like cutting out carbs, like you'll lose weight. But the only reason you're losing weight is because you're in a calorie deficit. Carbs typically have the most calories for an amount of it, right?
Yeah.
So you're just in a calorie deficit. That's the only reason. Like you can lose weight eating McDonald's every day,
Yeah.
truthfully. As you just got to be in that caloric deficit. And so in the beginning, I cut out carbs, but if you know me, like, fuck, I gotta eat my rice. I love my rice. I love my bread. Like, I love carbs. Everyone likes carbs, the fuck. Like,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, I can't do that. And so I basically like learned that everything is about balance, right? Like, you still treat yourself. You still got to live your life. Like I think that's why I got so sad after I lost the weight is because everything that I did was to keep the weight off. Everything I did was to lose the weight. And then I realized that's not living my life. Like I'm a prisoner
Yeah.
to my health, which is like I felt like a prisoner to my health when I was at my biggest. And then it's funny because I felt even more like a prisoner when I was at my smallest. And it's so mentally weird, but now I'm finally at a good spot where I'm like, one day, like, and that's why I don't track anymore. at all. Like I because I tracked for so long, I know what what it looks like to eat when I did track. So basically I just eat all the same things, just I don't weigh it out. But
Yeah.
me now it's like if I want a donut and it's 8 in the morning, like okay, I'm gonna treat myself to a donut. Do I do this every damn day? No, like that's very rare, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I still am not gonna say no because you can only say no forever, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, like you were like you mentioned that you were on the carnivore, right? And then you wanted like whatever, you wanted something sweet, but then you're like, oh, you're gonna mess up your ketosis. And when you restrict yourself, your brain, like as humans, like we want what we can't have, right?
Yeah.
So if you tell yourself, like, especially me, I'm so hard-headed. Ask my parents, fuck, I'm stubborn as hell. So it's like you tell me I can't have something, I really want it. So it's like in the beginning of my weight loss, I was like, hey, you can't have carbs, you can't do this. And then I would end up just like binge eating it. Like on the weekends, like I would be eating a
Oh,
whole fucking tub of ice cream, and then I'm like, oh my God, I feel so gross, gotta throw up. And then you feel like, oh, why didn't I just eat a small bowl of ice cream every other day this
yeah.
week? You know what I mean? That would have been less than the whole damn tub,
Yeah.
you
That was
know?
me with
So
White Castles. If I just ate
yeah,
three, I would have been all good.
yep.
That's funny.
Yes.
Want to shout out our sponsor, iRip Detail Supply. They're your one-stop shop superstore for everything you need to detail your vehicle, car, truck, minivan, bike, whatever you got. Go to their store in Temple Valley Shopping Center. They also have one in Vegas. You can also check out their website at irepdetailsupply.com. If you use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. Go look them up. So I do like the videos you're posting, like kind of more of your personality, especially like on your live stories and stuff. Like you're eating chips or like you're shopping or you're putting yourself out there in a way where people are getting to know the real you, which I think is super cool because sometimes it won't be depicted in on your social media just from the pictures, you know what I mean? And there was one, I think you were driving and you were like, oh, you're in a bad mood or angry. It's like, don't cut me off.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's just showing the
yeah.
you. Eh, I think a lot of people will start to relate to you as a person versus just you as pictures on Instagram.
Yeah. And that's why like that one video I posted, that was me ranting. Oh, I was so pissed because I had just quit nicotine and
Oh,
I
you
still have not
smoke.
been on.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I literally been smoking consistently or like heavy for the past like 7 years, 6 years.
Oh shit. Like cigarettes or the fucking fruity
Oh no,
pebble
no, no.
oh.
Like, I love dabbling in the grass, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. All the
And
time.
vape. And
Yeah.
vape. Oh God, the vape. Yeah. But I have an upcoming surgery uh for my skin actually. I finally saved enough for that. And so I'm getting that surgery done soon. So I need to like quit the nicotine and all of that. And I was driving that day and I was just like, oh my God, like you could be 95 and I would, and if you cut me off, I'm rear-ending your ass. Like I am not in a mood today,
Yeah.
but I just post dumb shit like that because I'm like, truthfully, I feel like for me, social media it's like I said earlier, it's like such a great thing to have, like that we have, right? It can be so good, but it can also be so damaging. And
Yeah.
I I've seen both sides where I've been so damaged from social media, like comparing myself to other women online that, have never been through a huge weight loss journey. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that body. Like they don't have any loose skin, they don't have this, whatever. And I've also seen the beautiful side of it where it's like I met some of my great friends who are also influencers that would have never met if it wasn't for social media. Like they're in like California, they're in Texas, like wherever, you know. Um, and so that's why I try my hardest to, yeah, I still post the cute pictures and that I like that, are at a posed angle or whatever. But I still want to post that real content because I think social media is just, it's such a highlight reel.
Yeah.
it's so just superficial, right? Everyone is, I mean, of course, you're not going to post like if you just went through a breakup. Like, you're not going to be like, hey guys, I'm actually so depressed right now. Like, let me post about this. Like, no. You go through a breakup, you're probably going to post like, hey guys, I'm in the Bahamas right now, or like, I'm living my life, I'm at the club,
Yeah.
like, nobody wants to be seen as less than, especially not on social media, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I think I just want to be like a breath of fresh air. It gets tiring and it gets boring seeing the same perfect, like edited bullshit, you
Yep.
know?
I agree.
And it's like,
100%.
that's not real life. Like,
Yeah.
and I just want to bring just a little bit more of real life into social media, right? And that's what I'm trying to do, especially for people who are on a weight loss journey, who are trying to get on a weight loss journey or have been through one or just struggle with like body image or, things like that. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do.
At least you're real with it, and I think that's what will resonate with people. I mean, you're right though. Social media can be so fake. Trust, I met a lot of girls where they'll come into the club. I'm so and so. I'm her on Instagram. I'm like, that is not you. There, like I don't know how many angles or filters you're using, but that's fucked up. Like you're just lying. And
For real.
like even you play music on your social media, and to me that's
Hmm.
super cool. It shows a different side of you, you know what I mean? Like, and that must be scary to do also. That's kind of putting yourself out there.
Oh yeah, like it's funny because I'm like so passionate about fitness and health, but my first passion was actually music. My first job ever was I was actually an ukulele teacher for Royce Takuma's ukulele
Hmm.
studio. Yeah, so I was a
Yeah.
teacher for them. That
Oh,
was my
that's
first
awesome.
job. I started in seventh grade. And then when I was in like eighth grade or ninth grade, they had asked like, hey, we want to train you, like, like personality, you're good at ukulele, like, can we train you? So I started training under Roy. And then that was my first job when I was 15. I was a ukulele teacher, and I've always loved like singing, performing. But it's hard to believe, like, I used to be very shy actually growing up. Which
Really?
is crazy because, like, right? Everyone is like, you? Like, fucking loud as hell, you're shy? Um, I used to be like shy, like, I wouldn't sing in front of people, I wouldn't, whatever. And then I don't know what clicked, like, something just clicked, like, especially when I was going through like the weight loss journey. Like, I I mean, I was already coming out of my shell before I had lost the weight. Like I performed a couple times at weddings or
Oh,
whatever,
nice.
like gigs, and so I was coming out of my shell more, but it's funny because when I was losing the weight, whatever, and like I told you, it's such a mental thing, right? You really gotta like, it's a whole different side of like, I had to find self-love in myself, right? And I just, something clicked in my brain and I was like, fuck, life's too short to not just do what you want to do, say what you want to say, like be who you want to be. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna sing. It might not be the best fucking voice. Like it might not, I might mess up, like, but it makes me happy. Like it's something that brings me joy. Like I'm gonna share it. And if you don't like it, it takes 1 fucking second to scroll. So use your finger that God gave
Yeah.
you and scroll, you know? Like
That's the way to think. I wanted to know, and I always ask this question because I've experienced it, is have you gotten hate on social media?
not okay, not on my Instagram. Um, on my TikTok, actually, and it only happened about like maybe 2 times.
Hmm.
It was so weird. It's like my first time experiencing like hate. It was just like a random troll bot, whatever. I had posted a video, and this was like over a year ago. I had posted like, oh, fuck, what was it? I was talking about like, I think it was a video I posted, and it was like, oh, it was an old picture of me, and it was like, oh, unhealthy, and or it was sad and unhealthy, or unhealthy and sad, or just unhealthy and depressed, right? And it was like an old picture of me being bigger, and then it flipped to me now, and it was like, oh, happy and healthy.
Yeah.
right? And someone had commented on it and it did pretty good. Like, it got a lot of like views, whatever. And someone commented, like someone I don't know had commented on it and it was like, oh, so just because you lost the weight means you're happy now? Like, that's like fucked up. Like, why weren't you happy before? Like, just like making random comments. Like, I've never
Yeah.
really truly gotten like, I mean, people have made comments like, oh, you think you're all that or whatever. But honestly, growing up the way I grew up, like, especially with my family, they're crazy as hell. And like and like growing up bigger, like I grew up having such thick skin,
Oh, okay.
and I think so it's like I probably definitely gotten a lot more hate than I realize. Like in my brain, I'm like, you know what I mean? In my brain, I'm
Yeah.
like, ah. But like to other people, if like other people had gotten that comment, they'd be like, oh my God. But for me, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And
That's a good
so,
way to look at it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I thank my dad for my thick skin, that's for sure.
That's super good. That's super
Yeah.
cool. And I feel like you're a very strong person, and I definitely wanted you here so maybe inspire some other people. What advice would you give someone who is trying to change not just their weight or whatever, but just change anything in their life? Like what advice could you give them from your experience?
I would probably just say that do it out of love for yourself. Learn from my mistake. Don't don't do it because you hate yourself. Don't do it because you think that you're magically gonna love yourself when you lose the weight, because you're not. And truthfully, like what if you do want to start a weight loss journey or whatever, make sure you're doing it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Um, don't lose the weight because you think your partner needs you to lose the weight. Don't lose the weight because you think people are going to be nicer to you or that's the only reason why. You know what I mean? Like if that's the only reason why, like you have to have your why has to be strong. Like it cannot just be, oh, I want to lose weight because I want I want more guy male attention or whatever. And you know what? For some people, like if that is your reason, like kudo, like period, okay. Like I don't judge you. Like if that's your reason, that's cool. But it's gonna be a much harder to stick to your goals if it's not something with more sustenance, like like pouring into yourself, like love yourself, and you want to show yourself like that. Like for me, like my big why was like, well, I want to lose weight because I want to feel one comfortable in my skin. I want to respect my body. I want to pour love into my body and in ways that I never did, like give it movement, give it fuel, and like all these things, right? Because I want to practice self-love, and that's one huge form of self-love. And I think just do it out of like loving yourself, you know?
That's super
That's
awesome.
my thing. And
I'm
don't give
de
up.
yo,
Yeah.
con- be consistent. Yo, I
Yes.
definitely gonna have my daughter watch this episode for sure. I think a strong I always want her to be a strong or grow up to be a strong woman, and I need her to hear and understand how it is to be a strong woman. And I think you're a great example and definitely something I would want for my daughter to have, like that kind of mentality, and be silly in the same, like she's silly,
Yeah.
but I definitely want her to be a strong person and, like you said, thick-skinned. And I
Yeah.
feel like she could sometimes I could tell her a million things and it'll go over her head, or she could see someone like you talking and it's the same thing and it'll stick. So yeah, I think you're a great example. And yeah, I'm stoked that you came on my show. I wanted to ask you also, I seen it on one of your posts, is those stupid little fuzzy labubu things. Oh, see, you got them. I knew you had them. That looks like something you would wear too.
Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
this literally looks like an outfit I would wear. Yeah. It's actually a secret. It's actually a lafufu. She's not real. It's a fake one. So
Oh, so
it's
there's
my
bootleg kind.
yeah, there's a labubu and then there's a lafufu. the ones that are fake. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to spend $70 on a real one. So she's
Perfect.
fake, but she's still cute though. My little
Yo,
boo's still cute.
that's awesome because my daughter was telling me she wanted one for her bag. I'm like, oh, okay. Thinking they're gonna be like $5. They're like, oh, $65. I'm like, fuck that for that thing.
Right?
I'm
For
like, there's
real.
no way I'm buying that for $65. You better
That's
go
what I said.
sell.
I was like,
Yeah.
even yeah, I had a hard time paying even $20 for the fake one. I was like, fuck. Like handing
The
over my $20 bill, like,
Okay, that makes more sense to me then. I was like, I don't get those things. I don't know how they're cool. I don't know why people are obsessed with them. And yeah, my daughter was asking for one, and I was totally down. I was thinking they're like $5.
oh,
I was like, I can win one of those things at the mall with the
on a
fucking
claw
crate.
machine.
Yeah, it was $75 for that thing. I'm like, what is like, I don't know. But one of my friends, like he's into collecting shoes and all that, and now he's doing that. And yeah, there's no way. I feel like that fad might change, like it'll go away, and then everybody who spent all that money is gonna be stuck with some silly stuffed animal that's worth like $5.
Right? Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna buy a real one because watch, that's exactly what I said. I was like, in a year from now, no one's gonna give a shit about a little boo boo, you know?
Yo.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna get the fake one. It's cute, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely letting my daughter watch this episode.
Yeah. Tell her, girl, get you a LaFufu because trust
Yeah.
me, the $70 boo boo ain't worth it.
Can you tell the difference?
I can't shit. And I think like if you're far enough, like I don't know, I guess like for the people who are like super into the Labubus, I guess they can tell because they're like, oh, it has 12 teeth instead of 10. But to a normal person, no one gonna give a shit, you know?
Yeah.
Still cute. Like I don't give a shit. It's still
Yeah.
cute.
That's awesome. Well, we've been going for a while, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on my show. Social
Thank
media,
you.
yeah, social media wise, where can people find you on Instagram and stuff?
My tag for like everything is Macy.onolicious. It's Maci dot onolicious.
Right on.
Yeah.
And for us, it's always Above the Bridge podcast on Instagram, YouTube, atbpod.com is our website, and my Instagram is Daddy Daddy High. Well, I could probably talk story with you for another 3 hours.
Right? Me too.
Yeah, you're good people, and I think you're gonna motivate a lot of girls, honestly, and I think you're a great example, and I think you know that. I think that's why you're doing what you're doing, and you're you're getting it out there, and I was blown away. Like when I first seen that picture or that video, I had no idea. Like zero
Oh,
clue, not a clue. Because I always see you pounding weights and working out. Just figured your whole life you was like that. You know what I mean? Like a fitness. And I was like, that video I thought you posted of somebody else, and then I seen your face and your smile. I'm like, oh, that's her. I'm like, holy shit, that's her. I was like, what? I was yeah, and
aw.
the
Thank you, Dad.
yeah, the example you're showing, I think can inspire, and that's the hugest reason why I wanted you on the show. And hopefully one young Macy out there watches this show randomly and it changes her stars, and I think that's pretty
Hope
much,
so. Hope
yeah, that's
so.
pretty much the goal that you want.
Yeah.
Anyways, shakas for the cameras. We're out. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.